test. Here we go. Power hour, baby. What's going on, Joe Skis? It's Deca King. Aaron. Let's go, baby. Tesla hit 715. Can you guys believe that? Oh my gosh. One stock that I'm ready. I'm ready, baby. Twitter, I have my alerts. Cover this one tonight. I'm gonna put this one in tonight's video, guys. Twitter. A crash, what are you talking about? We're pulling back. I'm telling you, the market's gonna fall any day. Next week, possibly. We're possibly gonna pull back to 12.8 on NASDAQ. The S&P 500, SPY, let's pull up SPX. It's probably gonna pull back to 4,000. Honestly, we're in for a pullback. So just be careful swing trading stuff. Neo, look at that run on Neo. Amazon has been selling off too. Looks like people are taking some profits. We're back to yesterday's close. Can you guys believe this? After some record breaking numbers on Amazon, and we're pulling back. Pretty impressive. Oh, what's going on, Kevin? We're gonna have Robert on right now. Robert B, baby. Let me call him on Discord. We have him on every Friday. Talk about GameStop. Talk about AMC. In which we're both pulling back on both. So they kind of are in a way following each other. Let me call him really quick. Yeah, I'll be buying a diff for sure too. So I guess they banned flights from India, guys, to the U.S. after their cases. I believe they hit 400 cases today. Uh, I'm calling you Rob on Discord now if you want to answer. I'm done watching that Mo Money channel. I think he's compromised. Guys, I'm gonna be honest. I think no one's compromised. I think. Oh, he's on. Hello?
I'm done watching the Money channel. I think he's compromised.
I can hear myself in the background. Yeah.
Huh?
Hey, what's going on, buddy? What's going on? Good afternoon, man. I can hear myself in the background. I was gonna say.
Yeah, that's why I turned off my sound system.
YouTube, can you hear?
Hello, test 1, 2, 3. 32 isn't a real number. Really? It's not?
What's going on, John? No, what was I saying about compromised? That I don't think anybody's compromised. I think all these emails, all these screenshots are just bogus. I think it's just to add to the narrative. Like this whole buyout is just, it blows my mind.
Well, it just boils down to, if somebody says anything that people don't agree with nowadays, it's automatically, it's cancel culture shit, and it's stupid.
And that's for every stock too.
Well, I know it's not just stocks, it's anything these days. Can we not just, agree to disagree? Come on, guys. Be adults.
That's even with crypto too. I've seen that even myself. I'm trying to get into crypto. I'm gonna open up some accounts over the weekend, and I've seen it with Bitcoin too. And it's just it makes me it disappoints me a little bit, but it is what it is. I mean, last time we had you on, we were talking about GameStop. It was a couple weeks ago. It's been a couple weeks. It's been a couple of weeks from then. So, what do you have updates? Your analysis, your insight, your current stake, your current update on GameStop.
I still got over 4,000 shares, various buy-ins because it's across 7, 8 different accounts. I think my brokerage is probably my highest, which is a 293 average, I think. The rest are much lower because I didn't put some of my retirement accounts in until we bottomed out at the 40, 50, 60 range. But actually been doing some looking into it and trying to think if I've actually posted anything recently in the Discord.
What?
Cats bother me. I don't know that I've actually come across anything significant. I do like the way it's drying up. Um, it just looks more and more like there's nothing out there for them to be trading. They're just trading synthetic shares back and forth. I love it.
And do you think you think it's mostly on the whale side, like the quote big boys playing the institutions and not
Oh,
much retail involved?
absolutely. I mean, you got the Euro apes, and the Asian apes that can't afford to buy multiple shares. They're buying one, two, five, whatever they can, as they can, and that's great. Um, but it boils down to any of the large shares you see going through are most likely day traders, which I don't have a problem with either. Or you've got institutionals. And then some of the, I'm going to say vast majority of the one, two, five, maybe even as high as 30, there's going to be algo trading back and forth, I think. I don't have, I'm not an insider, so I don't know. Let's see. Sold account question. Do you believe they haven't covered calls at 180, so they're pushing it down from that? Well, I've had this discussion a number of times with some people, and the deep in the money calls, I think that was just for I think that was going to be hedge funds counting on the other whales driving the price up or the reverse thereof. It was the whales counting on the hedge funds trying to drive the price up. That was just a money play. It's never been for a share play because if you'll notice, they never finish out the week. They never finish out Friday as being open interest. So those were just money plays. Now, the ones that are out of the money, 180, 200, I think that's pretty much the same thing. It's people, making money plays. It could be investors, or, retail. It could be hedge funds. I suspect that's really all it is. I don't think the whales are because if they wanted to go up, they could drive it up. There's no question. There's just nothing out there to be had. I mean, when we've got 100 plus, and I'm actually thinking it's more likely a 200+% short interest, they could drive it up so quick it's not even funny. They are controlling this. The whales are controlling this. They're fighting the hedge funds. This is big boy on big boy money, and retail's just sitting back for the ride and hoping they get done eventually playing their games. What's going to trigger that? 801. NSCC 801 is going to be the trigger. None of these others are really going to or will really trigger a squeeze, but 801 can. When it gets instituted, beyond my ken, I don't have a clue. Well, I kind of have a clue because they have a time limit, 60 days from when it was filed. So April, May 17th, 16th, 19th, somewhere in there is when it should come out of the SEC.
Oh, what was the date again?
May 16th, 17th, 19th, somewhere in there, whenever, 60 days after it was filed. Let's see if I can go find out when it was filed. Dadgummit. When was this?
Let me check. I'll pull it up too. Let's see.
801. Wait, it's filed on March 5th, so oh wow, it could be coming up real quick. 60 days from March 5th.
Yeah, March 5th. You're right. I found it. Yep.
May 4th is when that should come out
Oh
of
crap.
S&P.
May 4th is literally the day of the annual shareholder meeting for AMC.
AMC.
And
Yeah.
AMC has earnings on the 6th. That's great
Yeah.
news.
Yeah, for both of those. I mean, if AMC is heavily shorted too, yes, that is. I actually like that. Sweet. So anyway, so yeah, May 4th is when that should come out.
And that's what,
Yeah.
Tuesday, next Tuesday? And what if it doesn't?
Well, if it comes out with a bunch of complaints, um, then it will probably go for rewrite. But I mean, they should have been addressing that by now. And from the comments, I don't think there were any uh, hedge funds, any market makers, anybody that's in the industry. I don't think anybody has come out saying, no, we don't want this, at least in the public comments. And I haven't been keeping up with all the public comments because there's a ton of them. Last time I looked, there was just a shit ton.
Mhm.
I think it was well over 300 comments. Most of them are retail investors. Some of them were institutionals that agree with it. But vast majority of it was retail.
If it does get pushed back, what's like the time delay on that? How much more time does that add to it being passed?
Oh, that's a tough one. It could be, depends on how long it takes them to write it up. I mean, if you recall, they pulled what is that, NSCC 5, I think, 05. They pulled that one down, and it took them, even though it was supposed to just be rewritten, it took them a week to 2 weeks to rewrite. And I don't believe it can be another 60-day comment period if they address everything that anybody complained about. If they address everything that's complained about, I think it'd just be a 30-day. He's speaking to me there, he's speaking to me, Robert Brown. I'm kind of like one of the mods here.
Oh yeah, yeah. How about a recall? Why haven't we heard anything about that? Or do you think they're waiting till June for GameStop?
Well, all right, for anybody that paid attention to that AMA with Dr. T, that was a really good AMA, by the way. If you haven't caught it, Super Stonks Live, I think is what it was.
Oh, it's on the Super
Any,
Stunk YouTube. Super Stunk YouTube. I think that's where it's
yeah,
at.
yeah. That actually, because they use Broadridge, for doing the votes, that will actually be Broadridge's deal. They're supposed to go back to all the brokers and go, you're sitting there saying you have you have 300,000 votes, but DTCC and DTC show that you only have 200,000 shares. So, y'all need to figure out what's going on here. So that's not even the company. I mean, the shareholders can request that. Company can't do it from what I know and everything I've looked into. Company can't do it unless they go through the wherever they're incorporated. And I don't know where GameStop is incorporated. I would assume
Delaware, maybe.
maybe. I haven't looked into it, but yeah, possibly. I would kind of hope they were in Texas because Texas would be a little bit more proactive than Delaware would, I think. And sold account, I will get to your conspiracy question here.
Oh, it's a
But
conspiracy.
give me a minute. I'm on another subject. So the
It's Delaware, by
shareholders
the way. Sorry about that.
it is
Delaware, yeah,
okay.
Delaware.
Hey, you're better than me.
No, that just usually a lot of companies are incorporated in Delaware, like Tesla, just due to the tax
Right.
benefits they get
Tax
there.
haven,
Yeah,
Nevada, Delaware are some of the primaries,
yeah,
uh, because in other states, the tax laws are just not real nice.
yep.
So anyway, but yeah, um, company can't do any of that. But Broadridge, when they start getting, and that's why it's really important that everybody that has shares votes early. Vote early, early, early. Uh, Again, I've looked at I looked at the proxies, and there's nothing objectionable in there. The only thing I found objectionable was, why are we keeping George Sherman when he's going to be leaving in July, I think. The only reason I can come up with is they want to allow him to vest more of his bonus shares. And I'm like, no, send the guy packing. I mean, let the voters, let the shareholders speak. We don't want him having the extra shares
Mm,
because he didn't earn them.
yeah.
That's my personal opinion. And so I voted no on him, but everything else I voted yes. Just because everything else I don't find objectionable. Yeah, George Sherman. Yeah, I kind of have an issue with him. So
Yep.
yeah, that's my take on it. So vote early as soon as you can. Start voting, because the sooner Broadridge finds out that, hey, we only show 70 million shares available, outstanding, and we've got 210 million shares trying to vote. We've got a big problem here. And I'm picking numbers out. I'm picking numbers out of the thin air because the stuff I've been tracking still tells me that we are 200% SI over. And this is where I go different from other people calculating SI. I go with outstanding shares because I think that vast majority of the institutionals have loaned out their shares. So I use that number as a starting point. Um, and so that's where, when I say 200 SI, I'm not thinking 70 million shares here, or whatever the float is. I'm saying, no, we've got about 210 million shares sitting out there just going, here I am. So we've got a bunch of IOUs. Now, how that relates back to like the 14, I think I've seen some people calculate 1400 SI. Okay, that's about, and then it starts, then my math and their math starts to work out. But that's just it. Um, anyway, didn't somebody have a conspiracy question? Who was it? Sold account. There it is. Do you think the U.S. government will allow the MOAS for controlled inflation up to 10 times, which can result in our debt to China being 1/10? Ugh. Yuck.
Mm.
Um, I don't do much in bonds. I don't really track them that much. But I don't think that once they enter into a bond contract, I don't think the interest is going to change for existing bonds. I think once it's written, once it's bought, I think that interest payment is locked. So the I don't think an inflationary pressure is going to make that bond less valuable. I could be wrong.
I
I
d-
probably am. I don't deal with bonds that much. In fact, I don't deal with bonds
no,
hardly at all.
I think you're right. I think it does get locked. And look what J.P. Morgan and Bank of America did. They issued 13, 15 billion in bonds.
Yeah, I think that's locked in, partner. I don't think it's going to change.
Yeah.
It would be nice if it did, because then, yeah, China's, basically, and if it gets down to, I saw something today, 0%, and I started chuckling because I went and looked. Um, but I I was sitting there saying, okay, good. So you put it up, you buy $1,000 bond, and when you sell it back to them or you cash it in, you get $1,000. That's great. That means you earned 0% interest for how many ever years you held that bond, and you've lost the buying power because of some inflation. So it's just like, really? Yeah, no, I don't think that I think that only locks in the bonds when they're issued. I think that interest rate is locked into those particular bonds. So yeah, it'd be nice because then China, yeah, would get back less than what they were planning on. It'd be nice, but I don't think it's going to happen that way.
I saw an interesting question on here. Where is it? Darth says he hasn't seen his proxy vote on GameStop.
Well, that okay. The only one I have seen on any of my accounts is international IBKR. I
International.
talked to TD. Yeah, I talked to TD Ameritrade and I talked to Vanguard, and they both say it's going to be a few days after the proxy was filed, which was filed yesterday, I believe. They thought it was going to be filed Friday. So it's going to be middle of next week or towards the end of next week that we should be seeing those.
Hmm. Yeah, TD Ameritrade hasn't sent out anything, but you said Interactive Brokers, right? They already
Right.
sent it out.
Yeah, they sent it out they sent it out to me. When was it? Yesterday?
So they were on the same day, right?
Well, the same day or day after. I don't remember when the proxy was filed. It was filed yesterday morning or Wednesday evening. But yeah, IBKR was on the ball with it. They were quick.
Yeah.
So yeah, TD Ameritrade hasn't sent it out yet, and neither has Vanguard. I don't know about any of the others because I don't have them. So I mean, y'all will see them. Y'all will get your emails, and what you're going to be looking for is either an email from your broker or you're going to be looking for an email directly from Broadridge.
And if the case comes down to you haven't received anything, it goes back to like the AMC situation. You're gonna have to call or send an email, reach out, so you could get
Right.
that.
Yeah, if you don't see something by Friday of next week, get on the horn. Start sending out inquiries. Uh, get somebody on the phone. It's worth it to you because uh, sold accounts asking, well, so let's say Proxy Vote comes back with 200 million votes. They have the proof of the problem. What can happen to our shares? Long story short, um, again, back to my example. Your broker has 300 million. Say they have 300 million votes go in, but there's only 200 million shares listed with the DTC. They've got to figure out how they have 300 million shares reported as voting. Then they go back to the DTCC and say, we need to track this shit down. DTCC sits there and starts tracking it down, and then they start forcing people to deliver those shares. Or they have to pay existing current price to cancel the sale. They're using your money for free. They will have been using your money for free since you bought the shares. So if the price is $200 and you paid $50, then your sale is gonna end up, it can be canceled or a share can be delivered. Those are the only two options I know of. It's gonna suck in some ways. Max Jack Gabe, it's Robert Brown. I am a moderator here
Jeff
and been
Bezos.
invested for a number of years, number of decades actually. Ugh. So anyway, yeah, it's going to depend upon how bad your broker wants the share. They can take the cash or they can take the share. If they take the share, then whoever short sold it's got to have to go out and find it, thus driving the price up. Basically it.
So he continued to
So
say I could potentially miss the MOSS because of my shares that are fake.
no, you're not going to miss what you need. What anybody and everybody needs to do is say, I want to make sure I own my shares. I want my shares. You don't want to allow your broker to uh basically cash you out as it was a bad sale, an undeliverable sale. You want that share. If you demand that share, they've got to do what you want to do.
I
So they are
mean,
going,
aren't they gonna
what?
start? Isn't this where people start requesting stock certificates? Do they even still send stock certificates?
Uh, no, they don't do that anymore. I mean, years ago you were able to do that, and then the DTCC and CEDE and Seed and Company, they didn't want to lose control of the shares because they were the ones able to loan them out. Say, oh yeah, you can borrow this, yeah, you can borrow that. They didn't want to lose control of them, so they ultimately came down to, oh well, if somebody wants a paper share, and it really didn't matter if you wanted one share or if you wanted and you owned 5,000 shares and you wanted 5,000 shares. They started charging prices $300 to $500 per order in addition to. So that, when you own one share of AMC at $9, $9, $10, did you really want to pay $500 for one share? Yeah, okay. Um, One share certificate. Oh, let's see. Yeah, not really worth it because now that share is now worth $510 and it needs to get up to over $510 before you sell just to break even, right? So, yeah, that was their way of stopping people from doing that. And then when, we went to electronic back yeah, 2000, when was it, 1990 something, when we started doing all the online brokerages. Um, then everybody basically just went to electronic. It's an electronic number, just like Bitcoin is. That's
Mhm.
pretty much it. There's very few, if any, companies that still have paper shares in existence. Now, are there still paper shares? Yes, I think uh, GameStop is so old as far as being a company that it's probably at some point did have paper shares. And so those would be sitting in CED's vaults or file cabinets, take your pick. But yeah, you can request them, but that's not going to work. But you can demand that you don't get bought out at anything cheap. You can sit there and say, I want my share in my account, not an IOU. And the only way to do that is to get it in writing. Call them, have them send you an email saying, "Yeah, we understand this. You want the share, so forth and so on, blah 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 blah." That's the only way to make it happen.
So that's like the
Yeah,
same
man, it's about getting
situation.
that done.
What was that?
I'm sorry. Go ahead.
How does that relate with AMC now that they have, since their shareholder meeting is 1 month before GameStop's, right around there? Is it the same principles?
Same, yeah, yeah. I mean, again, we're going to go back. We're going to go back to assuming, uh, and that's all it is for me, an assumption, because I haven't tracked AMC in quite some time, even though I did get back into it. I don't know with any certainty what AMC's short interest is. Um, Vortex says, get an update on Ortex. Ortex says there's 150 million, 150 million out on loan. So, and see what kind of return they're getting. 6 million shares returned today. Okay, so today they're actually looks like they're covering. They borrowed 3.15 million and they've returned 6.6 million today. So they reduced the current SI down to 94 million, 95 million. So I mean, yeah, May 4th. Again, if people start calling in, to their broker saying, "Look, I want to confirm I've all of my shares are confirmed shares, not IOUs, and I want it in writing." Put your broker on the hot seat That way, when it comes right down to it, you're not holding an IOU and you're not one of the failed delivers that basically gets bought out at a cheaper price than if it was to squeeze. Because there is that possibility that they could just do a current at the market refund for the trade you made. And it's not going to affect the share price because it's going to happen dark pool. It's going to happen behind the scenes. So if you and everybody else that's in it says, I want my shares, I want to confirm. So when they start getting those calls going, we really need this share. We got to have this share. No, we've been told we have to have this share. We cannot do a canceled sale. That's when that's going to be the prime motivator for squeeze on AMC. It's going to be the same situation. I think that was the question, so I think I answered it. Did I?
Yeah, 100%.
Okay.
Even for the security lending, that's a good point too. I've seen that all over how they're able to borrow your shares. The lending your shares feature on Thinkorswim, TD Ameritrade, Robinhood, Webull. Does that really have a huge effect? Do you think?
If your shares on lending and you don't get your vote doesn't count, you won't get to vote. It's whoever you loaned or whoever your broker loaned the share to. They had physical control of it, so they get the vote. They don't get the dividend if there is one, but they get the vote. They have physical control. Now, if they sell it, then they get, then whoever it was loaned to doesn't get anything except they're responsible for making sure you get the dividend. They don't until such time as your broker recalls that share because you called them up and said, I don't want to be a member of this stock loaning program anymore. I want my shares in my account. I want them to sit under lock and key in a safe at the bottom of the ocean. That's the only time that they will recall those shares. If you can opt out, but since the share was already approved, they can sit there and go, well, you didn't tell us you wanted it back. There's so many ways that they can screw people over. And that's why you gotta make sure you follow up and get something on record. It's just like anything else. You gotta follow up.
Mhm.
So anyway.
I agree. Good
Oh,
educational session. There's always more to learn, you know?
Dart stacks a lot. No, I'm not. I'm a moron. I just learned shit the hard way.
That's all we always learn, man. The hard way. What's going on with? Let me take a quick look at the stock. Oh my God.
Oh,
You,
NQ's caving. Well, it looks like a double. Yeah, it looks like we got going on a double bottom here. What the hell?
yeah, Nasdaq. You think this has? I think this is just the end of the month rebalancing going on. People selling off,
Yeah.
taking some
Yeah,
profits.
end of the week, end of the month. You bet.
Mm-hmm.
That's all it is. Ain't nothing going on. Just people sitting there. Well, not people. Well, actually, maybe some people too. People, day traders trying to get out
Yep.
before the weekend. In addition to end of the week, end of the month. Yeah, and then the rebalancing definitely. So yeah. Ragnar Santana, you got to decide that on your own, Podna. Read the proxy, make your decisions.
He's reading the chat. He can see the messages. Ask him how he feels about Fubo.
It's not one I track, and I generally don't like giving opinions on stuff I don't track, but I'll give it a quick look.
It's the streaming service, Fubo TV.
Oh yeah, I don't know anything about this company. Da, 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 da. Let's see, what do we got here? Okay, so they're coming up on quarterlies. I hate reporting. It's always a bad time. What in the hell are they being sued for? That's why I don't like giving advice on or even my opinion on anything I don't track. Hell, just on price to book, I think they're overrated.
Yeah, for the most part, stocks I don't really track like you said yourself. I just look at the technicals. I really don't dive into the. I don't pull up Yahoo Finance, balance sheet, income statement. I really don't look at that unless I'm really intrigued, like Tesla. If there's one I'm gonna be
Yeah,
day
see that?
trading.
Yeah, that's all. That's this is where as far as flipping them, scalping them, okay. Yeah, that's where I stay with technicals. But before I go into something, I've got to plan. If I'm going to go into it long, I've got to look into this thing, into a company for 3 to 6 months. Generally, is the time I spend researching something before I commit. 41% held by institutions, 18 by insiders, share short, 19 million, ratio 1.0. Oh, really? So volume is not that great on this thing? Eh. Well, I don't know. Average volume's 15 and a half million. That's not too bad. I wonder. 5.5 million so far today. It's actually acting kind of like AMC and GME. It might be ready to experience something of a squeeze. It might.
Yeah, this is like oversold on the daily since like January. So it's been pretty beat. I mean, it has earnings coming up, so
Yeah. And it's that the earnings are actually going to be after 801 might come out. Might be might be a decent play. Who was that asked about that? Go back and find it.
yeah, do your DD, y'all.
Darth Trader, do your DD, but it actually looks like it might be a good short squeeze play. To be honest with you, if it's sold as short as it looks, um, and if there's the other things I look into are there, might be a good short squeeze play. Might be. It's all going to depend upon that 801 coming out.
Yeah, Andrew,
Yeah,
confirm with your broker, 100%. Thoughts on Coinbase? We were talking about Fubo. Fubo.
we were talking about Fubu.
So you're holding a ton of shares of GameStop, right? And I think you have Mara. Was it Mara?
Yeah, I got Mara. I've got 2,400 shares of Mara, I think, and it's one of those ones where I got stupid, and I keep getting stupid. I fell in love with it, and I'm still in love with it, and I keep getting my teeth kicked in because I'm like every damn time I sit there and go, oh, I'm gonna sell it the next time it hits 50. And then it goes to 51 and it goes to 51.50. I'm like, yeah. And I wake up the next day and it's taking a hit. I'm like, son of a. And I still didn't sell. And so I write it back down, which I did this time too. And I really just need to go ahead and start putting a trail stop on that piece of shit.
You have to have the
Um,
plan, man. You know what I always say.
I have the plan. It's just I didn't follow through.
Exactly. Exactly. That's the hardest part. Following through is the hardest part. Taking your profits and cutting your losses are the hardest part. The plan's easy. The plan's easy. I'll
Yeah,
buy here, I'll sell here. Executing is the
you know,
hardest part.
I mean, I really believe Mara will get up to about 100, 150. Well, between 100 and 150, and then it'll split. I firmly believe that. It's just, just like anything else, fear, uncertainty, doubt. Oh God, should I sell? And I've sat here through two or three of these cycles, and I'm like, and by this time now, it's like, okay, this has got to be the one where it keeps going up. No, no, no. So I mean, I'm about to, I really am. I'm just like, I'm just gonna take it next time because this is so much shit I
Or
keep putting myself through.
you could lot half. You could sell half of it and ride the rest. I mean, there's so many
Yeah,
ways to play it.
isn't that what I advise everybody else to do? Sell what you got in there and be happy and just ride the rest. Yeah, I know.
I think you might
That's
get
what I'm
one
saying.
last push. You might get one final stretch to like 50 on this one. You have earnings coming up. Do you plan to hold through earnings?
On Mara,
Yeah.
uh, shit.
It's mid-May. It's mid-May. You have some time. You
I
have some
got some
time.
time.
Yeah, Coinbase is really it's shooting up towards the end of the day. You'd expect a day like today to be it is up 1% today. I mean, Bitcoin is man, did you see have you taken a look at Bitcoin? Bitcoin's up 6,000 in the last week. It's up 12% in the last week. Do you own some Bitcoin? I think we lost Robert. He got disconnected, guys. Robert got disconnected. His Arby's Wi-Fi. Wait for him to message me back. Let's see. You got disconnected. Let's see. It's almost market close anyways. Let's see if he hops back on to say closing thoughts. Next time I'll see you guys will probably be I'll see you guys next month. Let's see. I don't think he realizes he's disconnected. HCMC up 38% today. Oh wow. Yeah, Coinbase is shooting up. I really like to think that it's due to Bitcoin. Tesla's also shooting up. Again, I think Bitcoin was a huge part of that. Mile Riot, all those stonks. I'm not gonna swing trade this. This is insane. Yeah, I don't think Robert realizes that he's not on the on the
Hey,
live. Oh, there you are.
I don't know why my call dropped.
Yeah, I was wondering because I asked if you had any Bitcoin and I didn't receive a reply. I was like, he probably got disconnected.
Yeah. No, all I got's Mara. Well, wait, I actually do have some Bitcoin in a wallet somewhere. Um, not
Is,
much.
oh, I thought you meant like years ago, like a wallet from.
No, 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 no. It's actually recent. I didn't ever have any faith in and I'm still not sure I do, but it's actually holding up better than gold, silver, any other commodity. So I kind of I'm late to the party, but I'm getting there. I'm getting
I think even what's the other one? Litecoin? No, 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 no. Ethereum is at
Yeah, I had ET.
27.
I had some Ethereum, and I was surprised at the move it made recently. It's getting stronger. It is really getting stronger. It's coming up as number two, and I don't see any reason why it can't get up there and compete with Bitcoin.
Exactly. I had this conversation like an hour ago with one of my buddies who's really deep into crypto, and he's like, I was like, bro, Ethereum just broke 2,000 not so long ago, and now it's almost at 3K. He's like, yeah, it's gonna go up to Bitcoin's price, market cap wise. The cap here is at 322 billion. Bitcoin's obviously 1 trillion plus, and he's like, it's gonna stay up there because it's cheaper.
Yeah.
Obviously, people gravitate towards cheaper stocks, cryptos, whatever the case may be. So I think it can get up there. It's just a matter of
Well,
time.
and it's established. I mean, it's not one of
Hmm.
these ones that was just created last month or last year. I mean, Ethereum's been around for a while, and it's got some major backers to it. So I think it's got legs to go the long distance. Doge, I'm not so sure about, but Doge could be a number, a third one. But most of the other ones, oh God, let's not get into Cardano.
Cardano. I mean, the market's gonna
There's so
close.
many,
We have 8
there's so
seconds.
many of them.
The bell's gonna go off in a couple seconds. Wait, let it go off really quick. 4, 3, 2, 1. There we go. We ended the month. Market close. Yeah, Cardano. I think. Look, we were talking about. I was talking about crypto with my boy earlier. He's like, yeah, bro. He's like, just dump a couple $100 into these new ones. There's a coin called Elongate. Because Elon tweeted, if there's a scandal with me, call it Elongate. You know, because of the whole Watergate situation with Nixon, I believe it was. Watergate.
Yes, you would be right.
Watergate, yeah, with Nixon. So Elon tweeted, if anything goes happens with the scandal with me, call it Elongate. The next day, somebody goes up, writes up the coin. It's listed at 0.000 something, Elongate coin, and it's up. People are hyping it up. It's just like what? And then the whole Safe Moon. There's a Mars coin too.
Yeah,
It's
and
insane.
there's also the game coin or whatever. It's like, come on. You know, I think we discussed this once before. I don't think it was on the stream, but I think you and I discussed this. We could go out and create our own, and it's like, yeah, okay. And then who knows? In 50 years, it might actually be worth a penny.
And that's what
But
that's what they're striving for.
eventually.
That's what they're striving for. I mean, you buy a couple $100, you're owning like 100 million coins.
Yeah, and if you want to swing for the fences, then yeah, I wouldn't make it any more than less than half of 1% of your portfolio on each one of them or something. I don't know how many there are out there, but you damn sure don't want uh, it to be more the grand sum of it to be any more than 5% of your portfolio, because most of them are going to do nothing or maybe just go down. You'll have a couple of winners. Will it make up the difference? Yeah, it's a crapshoot. Who knows?
It is
So
swinging for fences. I
yeah, I mean, if you're going to throw a couple $100 at one of them one month, a couple $100 at another one, the next month, and so forth and so on, eventually you're gonna get a winner. Maybe more than one, but most of them are just gonna sit there and languish or just die.
hmm
I
There.
mean, it's like penny stock. The micro penny stocks.
hmm
Most of them are just going to languish and die. They're not going to do anything. They're going to be pump and dumps. It's. I don't think it's worth the time to wait for the win when you can sit there and pick good, solid things and win and make more money in the long term. You can make more money flipping stocks, scalping stocks, day trading stocks than you can sitting there on something for 5, 10, 15 years. Bitcoin probably is one of the few exceptions to that because Bitcoin started in the early 2000s, and in 20 years it's just gone through the roof.
hmm
But only recently in the last few years. So yeah, I mean, but for the most part, it's sat there and languished. So I mean, it's all in how you want to look at it.
I mean, even just the process to buy some of these coins is ridiculous. It's way too complicated. I think that cuts demand by a ton.
Well, and I just don't like the exchanges, the premiums I have to pay
Oh,
when I look at some of this stuff, because some of this stuff is insane.
yeah.
2%, 12%. I, I didn't sign up for a credit card.
I had a boy who bought $1,000 of Safe Moon yesterday. He paid 90 in fees.
Wow.
Just to transfer to some other wallet. It was called the wallet's like called Trust. It's like a third party. Transfer it there, $90 in fees at the end of the day. So he's already in the hole.
Yeah. Yeah, but see, I wouldn't trust any of the online companies to, hold my wallet for me. Cold wallet all the way. It's the way to do it.
Even the fees on Coinbase are pretty ridiculous. Won't you agree?
Yeah. And you got those guys that are sitting there offering you interest on depositing with them. Okay, and what happens if y'all lose my Bitcoin? What if y'all get hacked? What if by some stretch of the imagination I allow something on my computer that's a keylogger and it's gone the next day? Well, I think there have been reports where those companies have it written in the contracts. Hey, that's on you, not on us. Too bad for you. If that's the case, then I would prefer to just kind of, I don't know, put it on a laptop that I don't have hooked to the internet.
Hmm. And there's
You know,
always
or
this.
or,
Go ahead.
or on a thumb drive. It's just I don't want to trust it out there in somebody else's possession. That's just me. I just don't trust anybody. If I can't touch it, see it, or feel it, it don't exist.
Yeah, that's the problem with going digital. Anything can really be lost like that.
Yep. New York second. So yeah. All right. Any other questions,
Let's take a
guys?
couple last questions before we end it here. Let's see what we closed at for GameStop. 173. So we're right around the 180 still. Let's
Yeah,
see.
Jen Rock's Rat asked me if I thought it was only going to be allowed to run. I'm like, no. Do I care? No. She asked me why, and I told her, I said, look, I honestly don't know whether it's retail that's counting on it going up that high or if it's hedge funds, but it's all about money. And I think the whales are going to keep it from happening as long as they keep doing this shit. I think the whales are going to hold it down until 801 forces the hedge funds to have to cover. And so I don't have a problem with the hedge funds putting money out there trying to buy calls and sit there running the calls, wasting money doing it. I'm quite content to sit back and go sideways as long as it takes.
So you have that patience. You have that patience.
GameStop taught it to me as far as
Mm-hmm.
investing. Because I was never this patient before investing. The Army teaches you to hurry up and wait. Oh, good Lord. GameStop and AMC got nothing on the Army. Nothing. Jesus.
And I don't
I've
you
never
don't
seen
you
so many games being played.
don't you feel like you're missing out sometimes too?
Oh, absolutely. I know I am because I'm sitting there watching these other stocks because anytime I get into a stock, when I sell, I always hold one. I always keep back one just so I can keep an eye on it, see what it's doing. And I remember, I can look back and see what I bought in at, and I can see what's happened since I sold. It gives me something to gauge against to see where we're at, what the charts have been doing, and lets me know if I see another good point where I want to buy back in again.
Yeah, because I think you had one share of AMC, right? That you just keep one share and just to see,
Yep.
oh, did I make a right decision selling here? Was it wrong that I sold too early? That's actually a good strategy there you have. I might even do the same thing. Well, actually, no, because I
Yeah.
day trade.
Yeah. Well, but see, I tend not to day trade. I will swing trade, but most of my investing is long term. Most, not all. The swing trades, the day trades, nah, I'm in and out, and it's all of it gone. But if it's one I've researched and I think I want to hold on to long term being a year or more, uh, then I always keep one.
Hmm.
Always.
I do that, but I screenshot my phone. So if it's a stock I want to look at, I either screenshot or I set alerts. So if I think the stock is gonna fall, I set an alert. That's why sometimes during the stream we get alerts. I'm like, why do I have an alert on this? So it's like, oh, I predicted it was gonna fall, and if it does get triggered, then I was kind of right. So I think that's the same. But you actually hold one share just so it's
Yeah.
easier to track. Makes sense. I like that.
Yes, Pam Varner, it's me. But yeah, that's just what I do. It's I mean, any anybody can do whatever they want. I know people that print out charts when they bought, when they sold, and basically they'll print out a new chart and put it up against the old chart and hold it up against the light and see. And it's just like, okay, that works. I know people that sit there and print up their reports and do their dollar cost averages, and I'm just like, okay, that works. I'll just hold on to one share. I'm too lazy to do all that other
Yeah, I
stuff.
don't know about the printing now, and you run out of ink and all this. It's just like no. I have one question, one last question from me to you.
Okay.
It's not when moon, it's when does the market pull back? When do you think
Uh,
the rug is pulled and stocks start bleeding, people start going crazy? We kind of saw that a little bit yesterday morning, and it gets spooky. It does get spooky. People start going crazy. People start panic selling. Like what happened last March. When do you think we see that similar type of price movement, type of price action? Is it going to be less or more?
I think it's all going to relate back to 801. I think 801 is going to be one hell of a trigger. There's not a stock out there, not one, that isn't shorted. WPF, Mr. CEO of WPF. WPF is already shorted, and it doesn't even exist as far as a going forward company. It's already shorted. There's not one company out there that has nothing shorted. It's just a matter of the extremes. All of the $50 and under stocks all have a good short interest to them. Hang on, I'm gonna pull up something real quick. Shortsqueeze.com. Let's see. I think it logged me out already, but let's pull it up. Yeah, it logged me out. Okay.
Before you pull it up, there's an interesting saying that I have never heard in the chat right now. Sell in May and go away. Sell in
Yeah.
May?
Well, there's generally, because the cycles are changing going into summer.
Mhm.
Everything's cyclical in the market. But yeah, it's actually a good working theory, because it does pay off. And you sit back and you wait and you watch, and you do get some good value buys back in. All right, just to give you an idea, shortsqueeze.com, anytime I open it up, there's always something different that it comes up with as its starting screen. Today is Colony Capital, CLNY. Its short interest ratio, days to cover, 16.6. It's a $7, $6.95. It's a $7 stock. And 51% short volume yesterday. Its volume compared to average is 25% of what it was. $3 billion market cap company, so forth and so on. But I can also pull up short squeeze. Let's see, top stocks on short squeeze. I can pull up a list, and it will sit there and break it down for me from, if I want days to cover, short percent of float, number percent off the 52-week highs, 200% from the 200-day moving average, 50-day moving average, so forth and so on. And I can sit here and go through anything as far as any company, and there are companies out here that they're shorted to all hell and gone, but it depends upon the volume. Something with less than half a million shares in volume a day, I'm not even going to look at as a short squeeze possibility, because there's just nothing there.
Mm-hmm.
It's got to be average daily volume of 1 million or more if I want to play a short squeeze. And then it's got to have a decent float to it as well. Not out of this world. Like say HCMC, I wouldn't touch that with anything. I wouldn't go anywhere near that one. Because it's already in the 450, 500 billion share range. That thing's just waiting for a reverse split. That's dead money in my book. And I know there's people that play it, and I'm sorry, sorry I'm not being sorry, I'm not being a cheerleader for it, but that's one of those ones you're swinging for the fences, hoping for a grand slam,
Hmm.
and God love you. I pray it works for you, but I won't touch it. I've still got a couple of those sitting in my account that I never got out of, and all they are now are just numbers. They're no longer tickers. I keep those to remind myself, God, that was dumb. That was just dumb. I mean, it was only a couple $100, maybe a couple thousand, but uh, I could have done so much more with that money. Um, but y'all do y'all, and good luck. Seriously, I mean, I really do wish y'all the best of luck. I'd pay attention to any of those kinds of plays. And if you get more than 25% profit, I would be so gone. Don't be looking for the 50, the 100, the 10 bag. Oh God, please don't, because what you see that takes days to build up could be gone in one.
Oh yeah.
So just be careful if y'all play those.
Yeah, even it's up 40% though today. That's the I look at this, I'm like, is it really up 40%? But if you just look at the bid and the ask, I mean, we're talking penny, penny, penny on penny stock. There's a 94 million bid on there and a 41 million on the ask.
Right. I mean, that's why I'm sitting there going, okay, yeah, it's got great, great, great. I mean, it really does. It's got great volume.
Oh, the
But then you got to
volume's
look at
ridiculous.
then you got to look at outstanding shares. And like I say, I don't follow it. I don't watch it. I looked at it for somebody today, and I can't remember who. Um, uh, oh
It
God, what
was
was
brought
that?
up in the chat though. It was brought up a couple times in the chat for sure. There might be somebody on here
Yeah,
trading it.
right. And I'm sitting there looking at it. I'm like, oh my God, please don't do this to yourself. Please. And I mean, they've only got a couple hundred into it, so it's not that big of a thing. But when you sit there and look at it, and the 52-week low is 0.0000. Yeah, I don't think so.
It's like it goes back to it's a reason it's this cheap because it's most likely crap.
Yeah, I mean, those are the ones you sit there and you watch and you watch and you watch, and by God, if you could make 100 or 200 bucks off of several million shares, take
Take
it,
it. Uh-huh.
run, run.
Like if I was it would a miracle if I one day decided to wake up and buy HCMC, which probably would never happen, and if it's up 38%, I'm selling. I'm gone.
Yeah, just wait for the next dip down, and only put in house money, what you walked away with. Only put in the house money. And then next time it takes a run, you'll sell that. And then, maybe take the house money plus half. And just use it. Use it to your best advantage. Don't sit there and wait for that 10 bagger, because I don't think this thing's gonna be a 2 or a 3 bagger. Um, take what you can get and be happy,
Mm-hmm.
because everybody else is going to be doing the same damn thing. So it's just a matter of who hits sell first on this thing, because it'll go south quick.
It's like the greater fool theory we're talking about.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, when I see a 52-week high and it doesn't even break a penny, um, um, yeah, I'm not going to throw more than 100 or 200 bucks at this if I was going to do this. And if I can make 25 or 50 bucks, it's worth it to me. Um, just so I can just so I can walk away saying I won.
Yeah, right. Everyone else starts chasing at these highs. Like I'd rather just go
Yeah.
with crypto at this point. If it's this cheap, I'd rather just go with something else more popular, reliable. It's still risky though.
Yeah.
Knowing
Oh
when to
well, I mean,
sell.
they're both risky. There's no question about it. Um, I'm not sure. I'm not sure that I actually, they're probably about the same play, in all honesty. They really are, because you're really just counting on, that Okay, I'm sitting here looking at this 0.00007 cents is 37 percent
Yeah,
increase. This I,
it's
I
ridiculous.
the number of shares you have to sell or even buy just to make this worthwhile is I yeah, a million shares, maybe 100,000 shares. Yeah, I'm sorry.
And they just had an
I
offering too.
well, the offering's something different, and that's even scarier.
That's
Because
worse.
that's what I was looking at. Because I remember I was looking at that particular thing. It's for every 4 shares, you can buy a new share at a 25% discount. So they're looking at diluting another 50 7 billion with a B billion shares, but it's diluted only to shareholders because the offer is only to shareholders. So it's not really a dilution, but it kind of is. Um, if you don't take full advantage of it, if you for every 4 shares, if you don't buy that 1 share, then yeah, you're getting diluted. um, because somebody else is going to take that and the overage that you don't jump in on. Now, and just the outright number of it, it would left me speechless. Because they're looking for something like $100 million, and when I looked at the price, it was like 0.0022. And I'm like, yeah, okay, quick math says that's like 45 billion. And then I read on, and then I saw it was a 25% discount. And I'm like, okay, well, let's add another 25% to those shares. And I'm like, yeah, no, you can't do that. You can't do that to your shareholders. This management team, they ain't in it for they're not in it for the shareholder. If they were in it for the shareholder, it wouldn't be less than a quarter of a penny per share. They would figure out how to fix this crap. They don't know what they're doing. They're not a good management team. I read that they're involved in lawsuits or something with Philip Morris. These guys aren't even a blip on Philip Morris's radar screen. Um, I'm
No, I just found it here. It says for every 4 shares of common stock that you own, you will be entitled to purchase 1 share of common stock.
right.
Yeah, at the
Yeah.
discounted price.
Right. 25% discount on whatever it is when we decide, when we finally get around to doing this.
Yeah, 25%
Um,
discount at the VWAP to the VWAP described
right.
above
And
point
so
zero zero six.
I'm just like, God, dude, this is nuts. Um, and I get that they're turning to their stockholders, their 450,000 or whatever. I don't know that I still have that up. But yeah, there was somebody posted the link, and I think I may have closed it down. Anyway, they have a list of they in that document you're looking at. There is at the bottom of one of the paragraphs they talk about how many shareholders they have.
At the bottom of here.
Yeah, it's on bottom of one of the paragraphs you're looking at. I'm not pulling it back up because I really don't want to start. I really don't want to bust out laughing. But it's a high number of shareholders. It's over 200,000 shareholders or something like that. Um, I think it was closer to 450,000 shareholders. But that's a ton of shareholders. And I'm like,
400K.
there's no, huh? 400K?
400,000.
Okay. Yeah, I knew it was somewhere in that. It's just, that's a ton of shareholders. And for any type of annual, general meeting or shareholders meeting or anything to happen, that's nuts. Just the cost of trying to hold this meeting, get documents out there, and especially if somebody's requesting proxies, um, that is a killer cost because the company has to eat that. So yeah, uh,
Yeah.
it it's not managed well. It's just not managed well. They need to do a reverse split. Like, I don't know. And forgive me, guys, 100 or 1,000 for, to one, because they need to reduce this number. It's insane.
I mean, but people are saying different. I'm on the Yahoo Finance. You know how they have a conversation section? I have a feeling this comes from StockTwits. I have a feeling this is funneled from there for some reason. But people are bullish. Someone says, I'm 50 years old now. I'm currently holding 10 million of HCMC and 60,000 of Sundial. I can retire at the age of 55. Oh my gosh. 10 million what, shares? Or dollars? I
Uh,
don't even know. I'm pretty sure he means shares.
10 million shares of a 0.0024, really? He can retire?
They're saying it's going to a dollar.
Okay. When? 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 When Philip Morris settles? Really?
This is insane. They're expecting lawsuits too. Was there any good
He's got
news that this stock went up 30% today?
he's got $24,000 invested in this thing at today's price.
I hope he hits it, man. I hope this really does, because that's not going to be a pretty number if this collapses.
I think. Hang on, let me double check that. Three. Yeah, he's got $24,000 invested in this thing. He's swinging for the freaking fences, hoping for the grand slam. Um, he ain't retiring. I don't see this thing. Yeah. Okay, hold on. Chart. Let's just see what the max chart says.
They're saying this squeeze is they're playing the short squeeze on this one. It says it's much cheaper to play than GameStop. Obviously, that's going to be a huge factor we talked about earlier, the price. It was supposed to get pumped on the third. It's being shielded a lot. So I guess this is one of those other Wall Street bets plays. Yeah, look, May 3rd. I guess you're right, James. This is going to be one of those plays where people are going to pump the crap out of it and dump it. People are hoping to make a quick buck on May 3rd. I guess that's the case. May 3rd. Look, today's the last chance to get in before May 3rd, which is when? On Monday. That's why it went up. Interesting.
Well, I'm sitting here looking at this chart. Okay, 2017 it had some good volumes. 2018 going into 2019 it had some decent volume. Then December of last year to present is when you start seeing the volume spikes. Again, this thing is a cyclical pump and dump. It is the epitome of pump and dump. That's all this thing is. I'm sitting there looking at this thing. It's flatlined since 2016. It's been a flat line, well, a relatively flat line all the way across at the scale I'm looking at. This is a scary. This is scary. I mean, if somebody wants to buy in heavy to it and maybe wait till 2023 to get their money back out and maybe 25-50%, okay, that's on them. That's their choice. My money is better off spending a year and a half, 2 years, making me money elsewhere, in all honesty. This thing is scary.
Yeah, it seems to be having a lot of traction online, but you can't really underestimate, you know? Look what happened with MVIS. It went up to like 30 bucks and now it's back down to 15, almost 16 bucks.
Yeah, well, MBIS was, if I'm not mistaken, wasn't that one of the Wall Street bet
Yep.
red pumps? I don't get. I mean, I will look at anything anybody posts. I'll look at it. And if I don't see something redeeming about it, and there's nothing redeeming about this one, it's flat, 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 flat. There's nothing redeeming about this one to me. MVIS, let's go have a look, see it that
I'm
way.
gonna set an alert on HCMC just in case it comes down and pulls back, just to see what happens. You know, just to like you said, monitor that price.
Yeah,
Let's see.
I mean, I fully get that. I mean, even MVIS, its best was back in the 2000s, and then it's just kind of steadily gone down, 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 and then 2012 or so, it's basically been a flat line. This is one of those things that it looks more and more like a pump and dump than anything. So this is one that would scare me. I wouldn't touch this thing unless it was back down at 50 cents.
MVIS.
Yeah, MVIS, I wouldn't touch it unless it was back down at 50 cents. And then it's going to be a long ass play. It's going to be long.
It's in a cycle. We're gonna do the same thing.
Yeah, I mean it's a 2 to 5 year play. So if it was going to get any of my money, at 50 cents, it might be $1,000. It's not going to be one I'm going to be watching on a daily basis.
Oh no,
I
yeah.
will buy it at 50 cents, and then I would set an alert at $5, and from then on I would be letting it ride up on a trail stop, because as soon as it starts to tank, and it'd be like a 75% trail stop, because as soon as it starts to tank, it's going to sink, much like it has, and I will be out with most of my money, most of my profit.
James says people need to understand that these P&Ds, which are pump and dumps, are not organic at all.
They're not.
They're really coordinated. You have to realize that there's hedge funds out there. Whoever the player is, they might have a huge email list, and they could buy millions of, say, HTMC, and they pump it out via email lists everywhere, Reddit, everywhere, and they just dump. When it shoots up like sundial, they dump it, and it goes fast back down too. Just as fast as it went up, it comes back down too. So
And Craig, I'm sorry if you actually think that. I don't think that, because I know my shit does stink. I'm just an opinion, partner. I've got over 30 years investing, so I kind of have a clue. And I'm just warning people, be careful when you do this kind of stuff, because the
hmm
history proves that the stock is going to go back to its original level if there's nothing behind it. And the charts show there's nothing behind MVIS.
hmm
There's nothing there. It's if the only thing they've ever had going for them were PR statements, that's not good. That's not a good thing. So I mean, do what you want, but hey,
just be
it's your
safe.
money, your account.
hmm
Yeah, be safe, man. Be smart about it. Set yourself up to succeed. Don't put all your money on one
Yeah, don't.
stock that is cheap. It's just not going to work for you. It's going to hurt you more than it'll work for you.
One last look, one last play. Viacom. Oh, the Viacom discovery, the Archegos plays. What do you think
I
of the
told you
whole?
where I told you where I'd get in on those. I do like those. What did I say? Wasn't it
You
35?
said
I
35,
think,
yeah.
yeah, 35 to 37, 38, somewhere in there. Those would be good plays right in there, I think. Even at 40, I mean, you'll need to ride it out, because I think it's going to still come down to about 38, 37. 35, I don't think it's going to go below. But I honestly think that those are good plays even at 40. Might be a while. They're not going to be things that are going to be scalpable. I don't think, I mean, unless you go buy a bunch of shares. I
hmm
don't think it's going to be a good scalp or a good day trade type play. Those are going to be long-term investments, but I think
Yeah,
they'll be good plays.
yeah. That's
I do like them. I like both of those companies.
this one has
And
earnings. Earnings. Go ahead.
well, I'm just saying, I like both the companies. They've got a long history, and they got a lot of movement in their charts, and they've both had good runs, and just ended up getting beat the hell down. But this latest one was kind of due to a pump, but not really. And then when Archegos, got margin called because Archegos and whoever else was running it up by overbuying and then turning around trying to hedge it the other way. Anyway, long story short is when all that happened, a good company got screwed over. And so did some people that were buying at the top, at the top end. Best thing I can do is hopefully average down, because they've taken what, a 50% or worse haircut. I mean, if I could, if I was them, I would try and figure out how to average down, just add a few shares here and there. I don't think, do they have an earnings call coming up here soon, I think?
Did GameStop file an 8K today or recently?
Last, I haven't looked for
I
them
just
today.
got an email. GameStop files 8K. Am I losing? Is this old?
Hang on.
Departure of directors.
Oh, who left?
Chris R,
Sweet.
Executive Vice President of Merchandising. Oh, this is already known though. He was
Yeah, that's the
leaving
old
her.
one.
Yeah. I just got an email from that. I thought it was recently. This
Well,
is 2 days
well,
ago.
he was supposed to leave at the end of the month anyway, so that's why they're filing it, I
Yep, yep,
think.
yep. May 30. No, this is wait. 2019. Chris R. Homester.
Yeah, he was supposed to. Yeah, he was supposed to leave. It was announced what, last month or early this month that he was leaving at the end of the month.
Yeah, it was early this month. Effective date April 28, 2021. Separation date June 2nd. Okay, yeah, I thought it was something else.
Yeah, no, that's just that one we already knew was coming. But I think they've already hired his replacement too. I think they already, and she she worked. Oh, come on, Robert, pull your head out of your
Yeah,
ass.
he got replaced by somebody, and she was from, I don't want to say Amazon. I forgot from where.
Yeah, I'm looking at the prior 8K. This one is in regards to, all right, this one's in regards to George Sherman. Yeah, she was right. Damn, was she really that far back? Termination, no. All right, damn it. This is irritating now.
Too many names.
I mean, big turnover, but I like it. I like the steps they're taking. Departure, 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 departure. Oh my God. Okay, that's it. I'm gonna go straight to the website. Hell with it. Because it should have her up there. But I think they've already hired his replacement. I don't think they're even doing a search for them or for anybody new on that spot. Um,
And they need to fix that, man. I know I ordered, you know how I ordered you ordered it too, the Mooncat, the t-shirt,
yeah, yeah, it
and
became one.
I don't know what's going on. They refunded me my money, but they still send me the shirt. And they send in transit today. This morning I got an email saying that my order was in transit for the banana with the cat. But they had refunded me. And not just that, they're sending me another shirt of the Mooncat, the same one. So they're definitely messing up on there.
Well, what are you going to do? You gonna be good about it, or you gonna send it, return it?
I need to email and be like, yo, what's going on? Like, I got a refund. I paid for this. You guys sent me an extra shirt. I need to pay for it. Like, I'll even pull up the email right now.
Hey, who knows? You never know who you might get a response back from. It might be Ryan himself.
Cohen, baby.
I mean, that's why the customer service exec was canned because there was people that hadn't heard from anything in customer service related in weeks, and he was like, "That's not going to work." He wants people to get a response back immediately, which is one of the reasons I think GameStop is going to make this pivot and just explode, because that he's got that thing in him where customer service is the big thing, and if your customer ain't happy, then your company's crap, and it's gonna die anyway.
Oh,
And I agree.
100%.
I mean, it's always about customer service,
Look at Amazon.
always.
Look at Amazon. Jeff Bezos is like that too. Very customer first oriented. And that's how it's supposed to be. That's how business is supposed to be. Customers first. That's why Chewy was
Right.
successful.
I mean, it's not that they're always right. Customers not always right, but you've got to communicate. If you don't communicate with them, then all what their experience is going to be, this company doesn't care about me. I don't want to deal with them anymore. And you will have definitely lost at least one customer. And if they have friends, if they start talking to other people, then you're going to lose all those customers that never had a chance to find out if you were a good company or not. That word of mouth advertising will kill a company.
Oh yeah, word of mouth is the most powerful form of marketing there is, and I agree. They're trying to make it between them answering the phone within 6 seconds. That's it. You pick up the phone in 6 seconds.
Yeah, I read. I want to
Bloomberg.
say it was on, but I read that they pulled it from whatever foreign country they had it. They pulled their call center back to the U.S.
It was in the
I may have.
Philippines. Yeah.
So I mean, great. They're making it where um, people here in the States are being employed. Maybe, and I can't say this, but maybe they're trying to find other jobs for the stores they're closing. Maybe they'll turn some of those stores into like call centers or something. I don't know. Um, as long as they're uh, trying to reemploy the same people that were already working, that's great. If they're trying to add to the workforce, that's even better.
hmm
And I cannot figure out where I saw who that person was, and I'm not finding it on their website, which sucks.
Let me see. GameStop merchant. I'll try to find it. Merchandise and where she came from. I just put GameStop merchant. No, that's not good. Because then they're gonna. It's Google assumed I'm trying to buy some merchandise. Merchandise. It was the officer. There it is. April 4. Stepping down. Yep. Home. Chris. Homester. Where is he? Getting replaced by who? He was this from Best Buy. He was the president of Tile Shop in Minnesota. Came from Best Buy too. Yeah, Coin's Coin ain't playing around, man. Oh, there it
No,
is.
he's not.
Oh no, it's no. Yeah, Coin is not playing around. Is it Jenna Owens from Amazon?
It might be. No, no, no. I don't think so. I thought she. Good Lord, they are on a hiring spree bigger than shit. They are replacing a lot of people in Grapevine. There's so many freaking jobs. Wow. They are on a hiring spree. Um, Crap. I don't think it was Jenna Owens. I wish I could find that again. No, she's COO. This was a merch position. I'm pretty darn sure. Oh, let's see.
I can't find it. Anyways, so yeah, that wasn't a new
Wait,
AK then. That was an
wait,
older one.
was it? No, it couldn't have been that. Let's see. Andrea Wolf, maybe?
There you go. I think that might have been her.
Because she served as Chewy's vice president of marketing.
She's she's brand development, and they're doing pretty well online too. The other day they replied to me on Instagram. Someone's
Oh,
dead.
did they?
Yeah, I tagged because I was wearing the cat shirt. I tagged them on GameStop, and they said they replied like, "We like your shirt," something like that. And I put, "We like the stock," and they just left me on red. They didn't reply after that. But someone's definitely there watching. Someone's controlling. Someone's managing the Instagram, the social media. Even on Twitter, they're doing pretty well on Twitter too. So I think they could almost gear towards that brand like Tesla is, that cult mentality they already have. Like Tesla could sell tequila and it'll sell out like this. Why? Because people are loyal. People love Tesla. People love Elon. I think GameStop could like go that way too. Go that route.
Yeah, it was Andrea Wolf. I'm sitting here looking at the picture. I remember brand development. Yeah. So yeah, I mean, they're Ryan's not messing around.
Mm-mm.
He's not messing
You ain't
around.
playing. He's like, you, if you're not cooperating, if you don't believe in the vision, get out. That's it.
Yeah, and I mean that's what gives me a whole lot of faith in this company. And in addition to the fact that they took a what was it, 40 or 50% pay cut, uh, because of COVID, and no bonuses, no bonus shares. It's like, hey, numbers didn't work out. That's y'all's fault. And
Hmm.
so, I mean, yeah, the entire board voted on it, but um, I have a feeling Ryan had a lot to do with that. Unlike a lot of companies, and I'm not going to mention any, but a lot of companies, they still got their full pay. They still did this. They still did that. And you know, Ryan's like, how can y'all justify this? I'm pretty sure it's the kind of what he was saying in the meetings. It's like, how can anybody justify this shit? We didn't do shit. We didn't make money for anybody.
Hmm.
We didn't make any money, so we're just going to take from the company coffers. Forget that noise. You know,
Hmm.
uh, it's
I wonder
it,
what goes through Sherman's head, like as CEO. Why did it take you so long to make this move? Like, why who didn't advise him on that? Like, as the CEO, don't you see esports is growing quick? Like,
yeah.
I think
Well,
they announced it in 2019. I think GameStop announced in 2019 they were making a hop into esports, but bro, it's 2021. Like, it's
right.
what's taking so
Well,
long?
they could never figure out, and I'm going to guess that the CFO at the time, what was named Bell, probably
Jim Bell,
because I think, yeah, I think Bell was part of the problem. I think he was actually uh, part of the hedgies,
he got
as far
sacked.
as yeah, yeah. It says he leaving
It's,
of his own
yeah,
cause.
hell no.
Yeah, right. I ain't buying that. I've seen that shit before. He was shown the door. He says, he was told, well, you can say you're resigning and we'll accept your resignation, but if we have to, we will sit there and say you were fired and we will destroy your career. You
He
know.
just I'm out.
So here's your options. You resign or you resign. You know, you
Yeah.
want to bitch about it? We're going to say we're going to fire your ass.
No, he did get sacked, but the headlines made it seem like he left. But no, he was the first. He was the first one out, I believe. He was
Yeah,
the first one
he
out.
was. Yeah, and I think it's because I mean, there was some things that said Ryan Cohen said, well, he didn't do enough of a buyback, and he didn't do this, and he didn't do that. He didn't shut down enough stores that were underperforming. Yeah, and I'm like, that sounds like he wanted to keep things going the way they were, so it was a slow, painful death, and so that GameStop couldn't meet the bond payments that it had coming up. I really do. I think he was a hedgy plant. I really do. And it amazes me that Ryan Cohen got so deeply involved so quickly. Um, I'm impressed by the man. I
Hmm.
really am.
No waste of time, just right on the ball like that. He already has a plan laid out.
Yeah.
Like,
I
like,
mean, he hit the ground. He hit the ground running. He really did.
and is that like some CE? Is that that goes back to my question? Like, why? What was the delay? What did it have to be Reddit that sparked that in them to be like, you know what? Like they believe in us. Do you think that has to do something with it, or what was the point on that? Like, I'm not seeing that.
Refresh, refresh. Just back up. Repeat that, please.
Like with the whole George Sherman situation, like why are they taking so long? Why do you think it took him so long? You think Reddit was the kick, that jolt they needed to be like, oh crap, you know, like if we don't step it up, we're gonna die. If we don't pivot.
Um, I don't know. I honestly have no freaking clue. I mean, that's a question for Ryan Cohen himself. Uh, as far as George Sherman and the rest of the board, nothing against George Sherman, but he just didn't have a vision on what GameStop could be. He only saw what it was. And I think the fresh blood getting onto the board, Ryan Cohen and the other two that Ryan brought on, I think that was the fresh blood, the fresh insight that they needed. And at that point, I think the upper management was sitting there seeing the changes and the vision change. And I think it kind of reinvigorated most of the management. Board of directors, those that could get on board with it, you know, quickly probably got some, kudos, and some points in Ryan's book. Those that didn't, or that wanted to continue the way it was until Ryan's not going to invest hundreds of millions of dollars just to sit there and watch his money get flushed down the toilet. So I think he had a lot of play and a lot of pull and a lot of play and a lot of influence in that, especially since he'd been in, since he's had done so well with Chewy. Um, I This is all Ryan, yeah, and it's Ryan motivated. It's Ryan energy, and I love it. I love it because like I say, I told people before. I remember back when this was Babbage's, way, way, way back. I'm going to the Wayback Machine there. And I would go in there and buy games all the time.
Yeah, someone in the chat said that why are we talking about where was it? An overvalued trash stock that sells video games that nobody can use. I don't think they understand how many people play video games. And yeah,
Well,
it's still on digital too. That's the big problem.
right, right. And I mean, and that's the route I don't think GameStop would have been making the pivot to, online downloads or anything like that. They without Ryan Cohen in there, they weren't going to make this pivot. Now that they're getting into peripheries and stuff like that, it's a good pivot because they can provide the hardware. They can still provide the game systems, but even the game systems are starting to go mostly online. The only ones that are going to have hard drives are going to be the ones that are the ones are the ones that you're still going to be able to play your old games on.
Hmm.
And there's always going to be some kind, just like there's some kind of demand for here I'm going to show my real age. 8 tracks. There's still demand for 8 tracks and cassettes. Um, it's highly specialized, but there hasn't been that medium in forever.
What were they called? The HCVs or something like that? VTA VHS?
No, no, no. 8 track tapes.
Actually, I don't know what that.
And I'll type it in and y'all figure it out. Oh yeah, there we go. Betamax. Yeah, that's about the
Betamax?
same thing as the 8 track tapes. Um, yeah, y'all Google that and have fun with it because that's how fucking old I am. Pardon my language.
8 track tapes. Oh, this. Let me show the chat really quick.
Yeah, I used to have a recorder for one. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Had that actually had that one album too.
Which one? The James? What was it?
Boston. I had that tape too. But yeah, old as hell. But damn, those things are worth some money now.
Oh, damn.
But yeah, that was the original cassette. Go back up, go back up. You'll see what it looks like on the inside. Scroll up. Scroll up. There was a clear picture with it. And if it ever unspooled, you were so screwed. Right there. Not back down, 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 down. Down, 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 down. Oh well. Yeah, there you go.
The,
That's what it looked like on the inside. And if it ever unspooled itself, it was a pain in the ass to
like
try and get
this?
it
You're
back.
screwed?
Oh yeah. It was easier to just go out and buy a new one. But if it was like that, it was okay. But if it got pulled out more than that, oh shit.
It's done.
Yeah, every time it got a kink in it, you might as well just throw it away. Because every time it got a kink in it, it would sit there and it would bite that same section every
Daddy,
time it played.
Daddy Mondo says he has one in the garage. You gotta be careful when you play them. The glue comes off the reel if you play them to the end. What?
Yeah, it's been in the garage all that time. Oh yeah, the because it's just one continuous strip, and
Oh,
it's not like the cassettes. It was just one continuous strip spool.
Ben
But
says
yeah,
Ben says his track caught fire. It caught on
I
fire.
see that. Wow, wow. So there's other people in here as old as I am. That's
I
great. I
mean, what's
love
the
it.
liability on that? Once it starts catching fire, who's
Well,
responsible?
dude, those things are so old, it's not even funny. But they were so reliable, and the sound was excellent out of them, considering it really was really good sound. But yeah, so now we all know how old I am, or at least we have a range.
Oh man. Uh, they said, "Hey Rob, did you grab some shares when the stock market opened up in the
Ah,
1920s?"
I see that. Oh yeah.
They're trolling now. They're pulling tails now.
Yeah, yo, I appreciate that. I ain't that old. I may sound like it, but I ain't. Good having you here, yo.
Uh, Keith said, "Robert, my son used to hide his weed in my player in the Mentos can."
Oh
What?
my God, really?
Nah.
Wow. Oh, going down memory lane here. What a Jesus. Never thought I'd do that. Oh, wow.
That's hilarious.
Oh, that's why. That's why you thought I was buying back in the 20s. Okay, yo. Actually, I hope you kept that. Because to be honest with you, those things are collector's items. They're hard as fuck to find
How
anymore.
much are they worth? Let me see.
Okay, Rex, I'll do you one better. I used to walk uphill through 10 feet of snow, 5 miles to school each day. How's that one? But I do remember actually going to a true five and dime and paying, anywhere from 5 cents to 10 cents for pieces of candy. And that's no joke. There used to really be five and dimes. They're the modern day 99-cent store.
That's a lot of
Oh
snow.
my God. I haven't seen in forever. Coleco. Oh, Jesus. I have not seen that name in forever.
What is that? Palico?
No, it's an old game system.
I can't find it. Who said that?
Horse running.
Oh, Coleco.
Yeah. Just wow. And it was, if I recall, it was top of the line there for a couple of years. It was better than the old. I mean, it was around the same time as the Atari console system came out with Pong,
Atari.
and you had to play. And it was literally a Pong system at that time was about the size of a keyboard, maybe a little longer, definitely a little wider, and much, much thicker. And you had pong, tennis, hockey, uh, and the knobs were on the console. There was no way to pull the knobs to play the game off. So you were sitting right next to who you were playing with. God.
Was it this?
Those,
ColecoVision.
those things were all collector's items.
19 ColecoVision systems. I think that says 1982.
Yeah. I think that was actually one of the first ones that had the joystick and all that could pull off, I think. Oh, come on, a horse running. How could you forget about that?
Atari Stock Pong.
And that was the only game that was on it. Yeah, it was a Pong game, and it was either Pong, tennis, or hockey. Or maybe it wasn't even tennis. I can't remember. But that was the extent of the games you could play. And I would sit there for hours.
These probably resell for quite a bit.
Yeah, they do actually.
Coleco
One,
price.
one of my cousins actually had that system, and we'd go over there and play. We'd go over and visit. Boy,
So
we'd spend hours on that damn thing.
someone mentioned Gemini, 1983 Coleco, $2,300 for a system. 2,300 bucks.
Yeah, and look at the price for the Atari 26. It's $1,600.
Yep.
But yeah,
And it's used
I
too.
mean, those things, that is, I mean, that stuff. If it's still functional, that's that's vintage stuff. There's collectors out there that'll pay any amount of money to get them. Yes, they did. Ben Graham, the ET game was total crap. I think that's actually what killed Atari. That was not a joke. They really did throw. They took all of those games and dumped them. It was the worst game ever, ever.
Samantha says you can mod the RGB cables on the 80 systems and get your price up. Yeah, this is
Really?
you're sitting on some a pretty good system. Horse running 2,400 for the Gemini console. Coleco.
Does he still have it?
He says he has it in his garage or something. He says
Jesus,
in his storage. Hopefully it's
dude, I would pull
functional.
that. I would pull that out, clean it up, clean and I mean clean it up as far as vacuum it out. And I would see if it still runs because if it does, shit, dude.
Oh wow. The 80s was a wild time. I'm not a financial advisor, I just like the ColecoVision. Smells
Well,
like money.
these old systems for what they were. I mean, at the time they were top of the line stuff, and I mean, it's like back then it was like buying the new Apple phone today.
That's what I was about to
When they
ask.
came out with the new system, it was a premium price, and you paid out the nose, and you paid out the nose for all the games too. Um,
So
so yeah,
you were like the cool kid.
yeah,
It's
you got all
it's like
the
equivalent to getting a PlayStation 5 today, right? I guess you can say that comparison.
yeah, yeah.
Wow.
Boker, you dumbass.
Robert Volker. We got another Robert B here. That free shipping though? It's a steal. Is it free shipping? It's you. That's the thing. It's used. This is a used one. Can you imagine a new one?
You won't find a new
You
one.
probably maybe you'll find a new one.
They haven't been. You might find a remand, maybe, because the technology on these things is so old. The chipsets on them are nothing. Um, Actually, they might not even be able to find the chipsets anymore to replace them. But as far as that, there's not going to be a new one ever. Not the technology is so far behind, the graphics is so far behind. But just for the old fuck like me, to go back and be able to play them again, it's worth it. It's worth every dime. It's like going back and going back and playing Pac-Man.
Wow,
On,
the
at the
nostalgia.
arcade. I mean, that's what it's about that's what it's about for us collectors type stuff like that. It'd be like going back and playing Pac-Man, Miss Pac-Man, Galaga, Cubert, on the upright consoles, at the upright, at the, oh God, what am I trying to think of here? Arcades.
Uh-huh.
It brings back the old arcade games when we were kids.
It's nostalgia. What is this?
Yeah.
Calico Cabbage Patch Kids, $3,400.
You never heard of the Cabbage Patch Kids?
I've heard of the Cabbage Patch Kids, but why is it so expensive?
Because it's still in box.
There's an astronaut one? Astronaut, $500. Oh gosh. 133 bucks. There's a lot of collectibles on here. Cabbage, $5,000. Attic find, Calico, 3,900 on box.
Hey, while you're there, why don't you see if there's an old Millennium Falcon, just for giggles and grins?
What is it? Millennial. What? Like Millennial Falcon what?
Millennial Falcon.
Then what?
Just regular Millennial Falcon. Go down like 5, not cockpit. Go down like 5 where it just says Millennial Falcon.
It's just gonna come up with this.
No, it's not. Trust me. Go down.
Really? All
Just
the way
work
down?
straight to Millennial Falcon. Yeah, that one. There you go. Those used to be the toys we grew up with. See, Ben Graham gets it.
Yeah, you got to, yeah.
Rex Chapel gets it. See, this shit is, we're old. We're old here, obviously. Yeah, that's the 3-foot wide one.
The,
You got it.
the guy on the
That's
left.
right. Oh my word. Now, if you were to sit there and try and find those today, and we're talking, back in box or even with the original, dude, you have no idea what a collector would pay for something like that. It's freaking insane.
So I guess the Cabbage Patch was like a craze. It's like a tulip
It
craze.
was.
Wow.
Oh, it was.
It's like
There
GameStop.
there used to be fights in stores
No
over these things.
way. No way.
Yes, well, yes way. There were fights when they'd come out with a new one, limited edition or limited amount. It's kind of like, if they were to have a Black Thursday sale, for
Black Friday.
consoles today. Yeah,
No.
Black Friday. There are gonna be fights breaking out over that. This shit was just great. But yeah, It was no different. It's no different today than it was back then in a lot of cases.
Oh, wow. The craze of 1983. The cabbage craze of 1983. That's nuts. It's like the Furbies. Why do I feel like I know that the Furbies? That's insane.
Oh, Matt R, you are not the old guy in the chat. Trust me on that one, partner. I got you by oh, geez, 20 years, 21 years, yeah, 21. I got you by 21 years, so don't worry about it. I may be the oldest fart in this channel.
He says that is so true, fighting for the toys.
I
Oh
don't joke,
my
dude. If I
gosh.
say something, it's
No,
because
I
I
believe you,
witnessed
but
it
it's
when
so
I was
hilarious. Like I can't fathom that. Was this just because of the kids wanting it or what? And like the parents,
yeah,
wow, so the
yeah.
kids caused all of
Where
this.
where do you think? Where do you think? Well, see, it's always boils down to parents want to give their kids everything that they didn't have when they were growing up, so forth and so on, and so it just gets worse. And I'm not saying it's worse, but it gets worse and worse every year because the kids grow up, the next generation, they want to give their kids what they didn't have. And it actually is causing more and more problems because people are losing a sense of responsibility and teaching the youth, the new youth of today, and even yesterday and the day before that, or the decade before that, they're failing to teach them that patience is truly a virtue. Work for what you want. Everything is right now. I need it now. I want it now. I want, I
Instant.
want, I want.
Hmm.
And that that is the worst thing. And we're seeing it in politicians. We're seeing it in the market. We're seeing it in the hedge funds. They want instant gratification.
Hmm.
They want instant wealth.
Overnight
And
money.
sometimes that's not the best thing. Sometimes it's not.
It's not everything
All right,
really is instant.
who remembers the stretch Hulk Hogan's and stuff like that?
Hulk Hogan's.
Oh, there we go. All right, now you know what? Somebody just horse running brought it up. Stretch Armstrong. Yep. Okay.
Look, I found the Furbies. I knew about this. I knew about this. There was a conspiracy that the government was watching you through the Furbies. What?
Well, that I think that was one of the first intelligent dolls.
They would
I
talk, right?
think.
This one would talk.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's kind of
So
scary.
yeah. Hey, Ben, no. I'm talking to him on a flip phone. So there. And in front of my computer with a beer. So I'm inside, even though it's raining outside, so I wouldn't be outside anyway.
The youth of today, everything's just so instant.
It really is, and I mean, there's nothing wrong with that. There's really not, but there's got to be times when life lessons need to be taught. Um, just my opinion, and sometimes you got to say no, just to give today's kids the motivation to earn it themselves. Say no, you know what? Tell you what, you go out, you go out, mow the yard. I'll put some money aside for you, and so forth. That kind of thing. I mean, I grew up doing nothing but chores for money, and then when I was in high school, I ended up working for my mom and my dad both. They both were entrepreneurs, owned their own companies, and it's that kind of stuff that worked really well to teach me work ethic. Because with my stepdad, I was at some point, I was a 16-year-old kid running two 10-man crews. Uh, wasn't easy. Was not freaking easy. And I learned how to deal with people at the time, and I had basically how to say, "Dude, you're fired," or sit back and go, "Come on, man." And did anybody like taking orders from a 16-year-old? Fuck no. Um, but truth is I'd already put in my time because I actually started working for my parents when I was 12. I was an attic rat for my mom. Well, she had a phone company and we were installing phone systems. My stepdad had a burglar alarm company and CCTV, access control, and intercom systems. And by the time I was 16, I was running crews out on what was it? Apartments and condos installing, you know, basically 3.5 point, 8 point systems. But I was running crews only because I'd already put in my time pulling wire, installing devices, tying them in, programming them. I'd already learned all that shit. So it was just like, hey, I got the experience. You got a problem? Come to me. Talk to me. Let me know. I'll tell you. I'll walk you through it. It's just it was a I didn't have much of a childhood, but the lessons I learned taught me. I mean, it was just I cannot thank my folks enough for the lessons I learned.
Those lessons always stick with you the longest.
Well,
Forever,
yeah,
yeah.
and the fact that I was put into a supervisory role as opposed to always being just the gopher. Um, well, I guess I had to show some sort of responsibility to get that. Uh, but the fact that they did that and then had me supervising 18 to 25 to 30-year-olds, uh, taught me how to deal with people and conflict resolution and to listen to different situations, different opinions, different problems. Because in some cases, there were times I was actually somebody's counselor, not so much work related, but just in general life. And I didn't have a whole lot of life experience as far as some of this shit, but I tried to put myself in their shoes and listen. And it's actually the, the lessons I learned were incalculable. And there are times I really dislike my parents because I didn't get much of a childhood, but there were things that that I experienced that were immeasurable. So anyway, I hated Duck Hunter because I always shot the dog.
What is that? You duck hunt? And I'm assuming.
Yeah, it was Duck Hunter. It was another console game, and it wasn't Atari. Who the hell was that? Wasn't Coleco? Who the hell was that? Put that Duck Hunter. But yeah, I generally ended up shooting the damn
Oh,
dog.
this. I've seen this before. Oh, NES games? NES
Yeah,
games?
that's it.
Yeah, I've seen this
Yeah,
before.
and I loved shooting that dog. It really did because I mean, I would sit there and wait for. I mean, I'd shoot ducks, but I would wait for him to pop up just to pop him.
Was it like this?
Yeah, he'd come up and laugh, and I'd just shoot him just for fun. See, there you go on the right. Yeah,
Interesting.
I think NES was like Nintendo at the time. I think that was who Nintendo
Yeah,
was.
Nintendo right here.
Might
It
be.
has a Nintendo. Look, NES 1985. That was like the early stages, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, that was the very one of the earlier
Very early
ones.
stages. And then Nintendo 64, I think is what I
What you grew up with? Yeah.
was it? I don't even
Now let's
know.
see.
No, I grew up with GameCube. No, this is a
Game
little
what? You grew up with what? Game what?
GameCube.
Never even heard of it.
Like, no, I think I even I think I think Nintendo 64 was gone already when I was playing games. I still have like 3 GameCubes. I grew up with this.
God, you're a baby, Ralph.
This
You really are.
playing Super Smash. Everybody else here play GameCube. But this was it. This and the I forgot what this is called, the Game Boy. Game Boy, and then after that was a
What the
Nintendo
fuck is that?
64, and then you see, and then and then it was a Nintendo DS, and then I just stopped.
Okay, I never saw
This,
that.
you
I've
see
never seen
this.
one of those.
It came with this.
That's how
It
long I've
was
been out of gaming.
see
That's how long I've been out of gaming.
it was thick like this, and then it got slimmer with to like this, and then they added like so many buttons, and I forgot what happened. Who knows where we're at now? Now they have like the switches and all that stuff, but it used to be thick like this. And then I stopped playing video games. Oh, I have a PlayStation, but I don't really pay attention. Now I'm into the stocks. Ralph is like 17. Okay, so it's Rex says it's NES, Super NES, and then Nintendo 64, and then GameCube. Wow, yeah, he's right on that. NES, Super NES, Super NES. Oh yeah, this one.
Wow.
And then I think it just got thicker. It turned into a cube after that. Jesus, you grew up with GameCube. How old am I?
See, I don't even remember the
No, no.
SNES, the Super NES. I don't remember that one. The last one I saw was shit, I don't know. No, I guess the only one I ever saw was the NES because I don't recall that Super.
Yeah, me neither. But I've seen it. Yeah, this was a big machine.
Okay, a horse running. I stopped playing games when I was like 16 or 17. So there's a whole bunch of game systems I've missed along the way. Trust me on that one. I mean, I didn't really start playing games again until I was in my late 20s, and it was on the computer at the time. I don't even own a game system now.
The evolution. Oh,
Rex, I am lucky. I am very lucky to be able to figure out how to use YouTube and my phone.
he's
I'm
lying.
trying, uh, believe me, I am. I'm trying really hard. Is it, you know, I know how to use, I still know how to write cursive and use pen and paper and put a stamp on an envelope. Who can say that?
Probably not me. Super NES was the real king. Nintendo has never gone back to that level. Oh
Yeah, there you go,
man.
horse. Yeah, you got it. Uh-huh. What the hell's a stamp-a-lope? Uh-huh.
Send telegrams.
Yes, Rex, that's me. I still do balance my checkbook. Yes. I don't use accounting programs. I do it all pen and paper or pencil and paper in some cases, but I do the New York Times crossword in pen. Oh, really? Telegrams? Why don't we just go even further back and go with smoke signals?
And pen, that's a baller move.
Yeah, because you really don't want to make mistakes. It actually kind of shows how stupid you can be sometimes. And yeah, there's sometimes I actually do have to go back and correct mistakes, and it sucks. Okay, how did this become about me? Let's get off of this. Let's get back to stocks. Come on. I mean, or games. I don't care. Game
We got off
systems.
with
Let's
the
go
whole
through.
GameStop situation.
Oh, is that how we got onto this?
Yeah, we're talking about video
Oh.
games and I don't know esports.
Oh, Ben, that's just wrong, dude. That's just wrong on so many
Messenger
levels.
Eagle.
I don't like Ben anymore.
Uh,
Oh,
all right, I have to work on a video for you guys.
all right.
That was,
Hey
it was a
guys,
fun live stream. It was a fun live stream.
it's been great going down memory lane with you
Oh
guys. It's been
man, we'll have Rob next Friday too. What's next Friday? May 7th?
hopefully we'll start seeing some squeezing by then.
Oh man, we need that.
That would be nice, wouldn't it? Wouldn't that be a nice, wouldn't that be a very nice end of the week convo? Everybody can just sit there and go, damn, we had a great week.
Oh yeah. I mean, what? Spies up like 5% this month. So hopefully next week we have some action.
Well, VIX, I think the VIX was running up today too.
It's yeah, 19.
Yeah,
Woo.
if it starts breaking 25, uh man, if it starts breaking 25, I'm going cash.
Oh yeah. That's where all those calls are at too. 25 June, July.
I haven't checked in the last couple of weeks. But yeah, I mean, if it breaks 25, I'm going cash. Because last time it did that, it went to 40, 45 or something like that back in March of last year. And that's when the market took a big old crap.
They're saying Ben says you have a great voice that you should be an audio actor for erotic novels.
uh, thanks, I think. Well,
Well,
I don't live too far from Matt McConaughey.
all right. I was about to read that.
I only live like 60 miles south of him. So
I
would
appreciate
love
you
to meet
guys.
you.
Thank you,
All right,
Horse
y'all have a
Running.
good
Thank you,
one.
Key. Thank you, Matt. Thank you, Robert, for joining us for Power Hour. I appreciate you. I'll keep in touch with
I
you.
appreciate all y'all.
Appreciate all you guys. Have an amazing rest of your Friday, amazing rest of your weekend. If we do get approved by Sunday, we'll be on crypto for Sunday, or even just looking at the market on Sunday. Have a nice chat. But with that being said, I'll see you guys on Monday or Sunday. Peace out, everybody. Have a great weekend. Thank you, Robert.
All right, no problem.
Peace out, guys.